Hey y'all, it's TD here again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry my video cut off earlier, but um but I've gone on to the next thing now, y'all. So my son has schizoaffective disorder. And excuse me, I'm still getting over that cold. They said it was a cold, but I think it's more than that. But my son, he checked himself in to a mental health hospital that we have here. It's in an upscale area of um of Nashville, of Tennessee. Actually, it's right outside of Nashville, and he was really concerned last week that he was having a break, and so I've been watching like this young lady living well with schizophrenia. She's a young white lady, but she's had schizophrenia a long time. She's in school to get her master's degree. She has several other degrees. And excuse me, and she was saying something about the weather sometimes can really start to affect them and break them down. And so I asked Malachi if he thought that had something to do with it. And he said he felt like it was a possibility because he was so afraid because he was having, outbursts. He's never violent or anything like that, but he'll just be talking like he's somebody else. And and he was so afraid of it because it was coming so frequently that he wanted to go and get checked into the mental health hospital. So he packed his bag up. This was last Sunday. And so he packed his bag up and I took him on. And so he used to get this injection called Invega. And then it was just too expensive. Even with insurance, I pay for his insurance every month through Obamacare, his Cigna. But even with that, it's 1,600 a month. So they started him back on the injectable. So I'm hoping that he'll be able to keep it going, because to me, what's good is to get the injectable in there and then you have to go back to the pill. Just keep him on the pill. But they put him on that loxapine 50 milligrams, and Anesta at night. And but he sounds good, but he's still having some outbursts. So for a long time now, he hasn't been able to get back to his baseline. So what I'm trying to make him understand is sometimes you're not going to get back to your baseline, and we just have to go from where you are and just have to learn how to live with it until they come up with better things and better methods and stuff. Because there's not a whole lot of money poured into mental health, which is really a hot mess. And especially in the African American community, there's not a lot. We don't even acknowledge it or talk about it. And that was something else. I've said before, in my opinion, I think that it might not be drugs that's going on with Kodak Black. I think he's developing a schizophrenic break, because I was watching YouTube and they were showing him, I forgot who I was watching, but they were showing him on Revolt, a show called Revolt. I've only watched that once or twice. I think it's Noriego and a DJ. And they were showing him, and his what he was speaking about was so disassociated. It had no association. Some part of it started out okay, and then it just went all the way left. And that's what happened, especially when they very, very first start showing signs of schizophrenia and schizoaffective disorder. And what's so disappointing is all of that money he has, managers, uh, um, record label execs and stuff. Nobody is telling him, let's go in for an entire mental health check. Or maybe they are and he just won't do it because he doesn't think anything is wrong. Because sometimes they don't know that they're doing it. It takes a while for them to know that they're actually having this episode go on. Because even when my son had his episode almost 2 years ago, when it first came about, he doesn't remember any of it, but he doesn't want to watch the films of it either because we were taping them. But he doesn't remember any of that stuff. And that's amazing to me. But it's just so I wish I could get the uh put, because I taped them this time too. I wish I could put the video in where you could see like how he was so happy one day, and then the next day he wasn't himself, and he kept saying, "I'm not myself." He calls it an alien. He said, "This alien in my brain is trying to take over," and that's why he wanted to go to the hospital. He thought his whole body was being taken over, but everybody is missing him, and so everybody's ready for him to come home, and he'll be home tomorrow. But it is like when he's not here, it's like the house is too quiet, and it's like it takes all the oxygen out. And I have a bunny. I have I like bunnies. I used to really like dogs, but you got to get out, walk them and stuff. And so when my last dog died, I went to bunnies. So I've probably been having bunnies now, maybe about 4 or 5 years. My very first one, Lucy, I took my grandkids to Disney, came back, and they had let her get into some poison, and she died. But I have Esther, and she's in here with me. Let me see if I see her. Esther, I don't know where she at right now, but she's in here with me. She free roams. And then I have Tater Tot, and I had given when I was dating this guy. When I would go over to my guy's house, my ex guy, and he didn't like animals. That should have been my first thing. But we still friends. But he didn't like animals. But um, so I had just got Tater Tot, and one of my middle sons, his friends' kids had wanted a bunny, but everybody doesn't know how to take care of a bunny. But I told him how and stuff, and so I gave him a Tater Tot. But when I came back and started staying in my she shed, I got Esther. And then when I found out that my son's friend and his wife had split, I went on and got Tater Tot back. Well, because neither one of them have gotten fixed yet, and it's like 529 for her and 4 something for him. But I've been having other stuff going on, and my granddaughter get ready to have a baby, so that's got to wait. But I will get it done after Christmas. But because I haven't got them fixed yet, they can't be in the same room. You heard the term doing it like rabbits. And so I don't want no baby bunnies running around here. But and then they need to get fixed anyway, because they'll get a form of cancer. And so, but what I ended up doing was with there she is, trying to see if she gonna come out. But what I ended up doing, I got Tater Tot back, and when he came back, if his nails hadn't grown out on his paws like Edward Scissorhands, so I had to clip those nails and file them real good and stuff. And and my son's friend was keeping him in a wire cage. Well, why would you get an animal to keep in a cage? Now I can understand a goldfish in a fish tank, but why would you get an animal to keep him in a cage? And so he had put him in a wire cage, and it was a great big cage, and he really thought he had done the darn thing. But I had already trained him to the litter box. I had already trained him to go on to eat his food and his water bowls and stuff. And so he lost all of that training, but he's back retrained now. But he stays in Malachi's room. So he's been getting his little paws up on Malachi bed every day looking. He's looking for Malachi. So he looking at me real suspect, like, I know you did something with him, old lady, but I just don't know what you did, but you did something with him. But so I know he's going to be super excited when Malachi comes back tomorrow. But I wanted to tell you all this just to say, you know, if you're going through or something, get you an animal. Get you, if you can tolerate them, but get you an animal, and that helps so much. It's something about it that it just brings the stress down, and they give you unconditional love, honey. Esther, she forever trying to lick on my ankles and stuff like that, and that's how they show they love you, and they'll come on you to pick them up and stuff. Not all bunnies, but I like lion heads. But I had my first one, she was a lop, a lop dwarf, mini dwarf lop, which the long floppy ears, but they have a lot of problems. But I have the lion head now, and they're super sweet. And boy bunnies are sweeter than girl bunnies, because boy bunnies are real dumb, but they're really super sweet. Let me see if I can get Esther just real quick so you can see it. Hey, Eric. Come here, buddy. So this is Esther, y'all. She is so sweet. She is so sweet. And so is Tater Tot, the one that's in the house. Just super, super sweet. But But I just wanted to say, you don't have to be alone. You know what I mean? You don't, and I ain't never alone, because I got so many kids, and everybody came back home except for my daughter. That's why I told you they ripped from me. But just try to do something about your mental health. You don't have to tell everybody, but if you feel like you're having a break, then you go with your feelings and you do what's best for you. All right, y'all. Again, this has been TD here. Thank y'all for listening to me. Please look at the other video. If it ends abruptly, but please look at it anyway, and give me a thumbs up, share my video, and thank y'all so much, because y'all could be anywhere but listening to an old lady. Thank y'all. Bye.